Welcome back to the Olive Oil Critic. I am so glad that you're here with me today, diving into olive oil from branch to bottle. We have a favorite to share with you today, and from a grove that is so close to my heart. Novello is the variety, and this is from Domenica Fiore. Domenica Fiore is a Vancouver-based company, so Canadian, so I have to love them, and they make incredible, delicious olive oil. I've talked about them before, and I love how they have everything from the olives being on the tree to being in our stores here on grocery store shelves in North America, intact and is well cared for all the way through. Especially this Novello is their early harvest. So it's still the blend, the classic Tuscan blend of Frantoio, Licino, and Moriolo. But this one is an early harvest. So it's harvested or the three olives are harvested for this oil in October. So again, early harvest, meaning it's probably going to be quite grassy and fresh, but a mid-October harvest for these three. So it's unique how they harvest their oils. They have, they're of course handpicked because the trees are so old and on their estate in Orvieto. It's a beautiful property, gorgeous, gorgeous groves. And Cesare, their miller, works with them to create these blends as they harvest the oils. So as they come in off the field, as they ripen, they choose how they're going to harvest, and then they harvest and then store and blend after the fact. So this isn't a field blend, it's an intentional blend after harvesting. And these olives, of course, were the first ones to hit the mill from the grove. So early harvest, nice and green. And again, it's a Frantoio, Licino, and Moriello blend. Arugula comes straight through, super green and grassy, but definitely some green almond in the center as well. That's probably the Moriolo coming through. Mm, lots of pepper. Oh, so intense. The Frantoio is so present. The Frantoio adds that body, that bitterness. It is such a classic taste. It's almost tannic in the way that it shows up in the oil. Um, it almost has a drying sensation on the sides of your palate. And this oil definitely has that. The Frantoio is very present, although the Moriolo adds that fruitiness on the front. The green almond, I can definitely taste in there. Artichoke, lots of grass, lots of green, kale, arugula, mustard greens, all of those are present. And then a nice peppery finish on the back of your palate, but not overwhelming. It's definitely present, but it's more of it's capsicum, but it lingers and it's long and it's not sharp in its flavor. Mm. Creamy, viscous, rich. It's got a beautiful body to it, and it sits really well on the palate. Some oils just kind of sink in and run away, but you can tell that they're present. Others have more of a body to them and they want to hang out and just be present, and you can feel the viscosity on your tongue. This definitely is that. Um, I would love this oil with roasted chicken or fish. It would be great with a bolder fish, maybe a salmon, would be delightful. You could even use this with lox and bagel. Schmear of cream cheese would be delightful. And then this drizzled on top. This would be so tasty to fry in capers and then use on the Caesar salad dressing. If you're using egg yolk, anchovies, those kinds of flavors would meld so well with this oil. I love to make a grilled Caesar. I take the like a heart of romaine, cut it in half, put it on the barbecue, and char it, and it just adds this caramely complexity to the lettuce. And then I make a homemade Caesar dressing with anchovies, egg yolk, a little bit of powdered mustard or creamy Dijon, some Worcestershire sauce to kind of amp up the anchovy flavor as well, and then use a really green grassy oil that has some fruitiness to it, but not too much. Lots of pepper, of course, in there, and then drizzle that on the lettuce with some croutons and lardon. It's so good. It makes me want to barbecue and, and it be summer again. but lots of versatility with this oil. And again, I just love its body. It's so green. The more that I taste it, the more I get those green flavors. The kale, the arugula is really coming through, nice and full on the back of the palate, but not overwhelming, not sharp, but again, just nice and present, which is what you want. You want it to linger. You want it to show up and be told. You want it to tell its story. You don't want it to just disappear. But definitely lots of antioxidants in this oil to keep it fresh for a long time. And again, that's one of the things that I truly love about Domenica Fiore. Their bottles are made of 1810 steel, stainless steel. So again, airtight, light tight, all of those things. They put a nitrogen cap on the bottles and ensure that transportation is of their utmost priority, which is one of the things that's often forgotten. The bottles leave the mill, they leave the grove, and they're taken to North America, and we forget about the importance of light, heat, and oxygen and the consequences of it on our bottles. And so having something like this is a really great way to preserve your oil, and then having a good quality oil in those bottles also just ensures that it is delightful from start to finish and whatever it lands on your table and in your cupboards. Thank you again for sharing this moment with me and enjoying this oil together. If you'd like to learn more, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I'll be back with more tidbits and advice and all sorts of ideas around olive oil from branch to bottle.